Hi, everyone. Delighted on this episode to be talking with someone that I have been connected with for some time and appreciated for some time, and now getting the chance to chat with, and that is author, artist, creator, JaVon O. Stokes. JaVon, thank you for joining.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for joining. And I know that we're talking about Strong. I know that you also have some other creative works that are out there in the world. So, by
Yep.
means of an origins question, how did you get into writing and arting as well? Because you're one of those people that does both.
I've actually been an artist longer than I was a writer. I've been an artist for my entire life. My mother was an artist, and I kind of followed in her footsteps. She was more traditional, like acrylics, paint, stuff like that. But my love of comics has always pushed me towards comic books and illustration, and so since I was a kid, I've been an artist, but a writer. I think the first time I did the stories, you staple together the little comic books as a
Mhm.
kid, but my first foray into it was when I actually wrote a novel when I was, I want to say like 15, 16. It was
Nice.
it was like a 300-page novel about, I forget what it was about a young man who finds out his dad was a superhero, and then he has to take up the mantle and beat his big villain who's returned. Uh, I might use it one day, but I
Nice.
don't know where the novel is. I have no clue. But from that point on, I was like, you know what, I think I can do this, and so I kind of tried to work through and learn the craft of both of them.
That's cool, cool. Telling a story through images only, that's an entirely different kind of challenge, right? Because 300 pages, and kudos to you, the 15 and 16-year-old you that did that, because I work with 15 and 16-year-olds, and occasionally one will say, "Oh, I'm working on this novel," and I'm like, "Let's let it become something. Let's keep practicing that." That's quite an undertaking. So, really nice work in both areas there that it sounds like you've been crafting for a long time.
I wish I could find it. I remember I printed it out, so I had it, but I don't know. It was, I typed it on an old computer, so
Hmm.
I have no idea where it is. It is lost in the ether. Uh,
Yeah,
One of these days, I'm going to see a movie, and I'm going to be like, wait, because somebody found my book or something. I
that's
don't know.
right.
Yeah, but yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
somebody
I
found
really
the
enjoyed.
manuscript.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I will do it again. I've got like two or three novels in my head that I've constantly been writing in my head, and I've actually written down kind of plots for. Once I kind of reach a certain point, at least in my artistic career, I'm going to shift over, and this isn't like, years away. This is hopefully later this year.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
I was going to ask about your creative vision, so it sounds like that is directly on point. So it sounds like you are going to be trying some different things and exploring words and images. So perfect for the title of this show. That works really well.
Yeah, well, my what is it, 100-foot view vision
Hmm.
is I would love to have my own studio, creative art studio, where I can just kind of, I can make comic books, I can make children's books, I can do a novel, I can do a short film, I can do a big film, I can do a TV show. Like I have a big, big goal. And comics is just kind of, it's my love. So I started with my love, but you know, um, I have a TV show in my head that I want to do. So I'm going to sit down and script out that along with the Bible for it. I have an idea for what I want to do. I love working with children, and I like teaching art, not as a career, but
Hmm.
as like just talking to kids and talking to teenagers who want to learn about being artists. I have a really big vision about something that hopefully it will come to fruition later this year. But yeah, I've got a large goal. We'll see if we get there. I'm just shoot for the stars. If I miss, I'll still be up in heaven.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, with the idea of creative goals and vision in mind, please tell us a little bit about Strong. I know that you've created a book called Heat as well, but tell us about this latest venture, Strong, and what you're working on there.
Oh, absolutely. So big picture. Strong is the story of the strongest superhero on the planet. I created the character in 2021, whenever COVID was. I did the first. I have a zero issue book that I did for the character. Did the first. It was a one shot. I was never sure if I was going to pick the character up again because I went back to doing Heat. I think I did 3 issues between when I started Strong and now. But I've had such great reception for the book. I've had people tell me it's one of their favorites of what I do. Like they like Heat, but they love Strong. So about a year ago, I sat down to do the first issue of the new series. And now I am literally at the end of the journey. The last page is being drawn right now. The rest of it is done. It's lettered, it's colored. It's just waiting for this last page. But it's been an interesting journey with the character. Little backstory: it's about the story of Kimora Sampson, a former Olympian who is involved in a drunk driving crash with her brother, and she is paralyzed from the waist down. And in her hospital room, she's visited by a cosmic ancient force that inhabits her and allows her to temporarily turn into a 6'2" Amazonian type superhero who can fly, is the strongest superhero on the planet. Has a little bit of super speed, variety of abilities, but only for short amounts of time. So if you think about it like a battery, she uses her power up until the battery is low, and she has to always come back to, the wheelchair.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's kind of what is the monkey's paw deal where she gets
Yeah.
to walk, but only for a short amount of time. But I wanted to do a different spin on it. She doesn't look at the chair as a crutch. She's very capable. She is a social worker. She works with people who are new to the chair, new to um, uh, their handicap, and she's just a positive, person. But I love talking about the flaws in people. So the persona that we cast is of A, but who is B? And for her, everyone knows her as this really strong, powerful person, as a superhero and as a regular person. But I want to dig down into the weeds of who she is at her core. So this is, it's a quirky book. If you read the first issue, if you read the zero issue, it's a little weird. And I wanted to do like really weird Silver Age type stories. And this one will continue that road, but it gets a little serious. It's a 3-issue miniseries to start, but we'll see where it goes from there.
Nice, nice. What's it like to kind of center a female character? What did you want to keep in mind with like a strong female protagonist?
Well, I usually have like rules.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
had like it was 2 or 3 rules. I can't remember. One was uh, she had to sound authentic. Like
Yep.
she had to
Yeah.
sound like a woman, not like a man's version of what a woman sounds like, but more like a woman. Two, I didn't want a man saving the day and
Hmm.
being the cure of all the ails. Like he can't be a day. Days ex machina. Yeah, there it is.
Yes. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, can't have it. Can't have that. And then um, the three was I really wanted to focus on family with this one. So her brother is prominent. He's the cause of, he's the root of our, her paraplegia. Her mother is very big in her life. She has friends. She has a support system. So I'm a big proponent of supporting cast and like regular supporting cast, not, you know, this person becomes a supervillain and this person becomes a superhero, like normal human beings that support the character and bring out a different side of her than superpowered characters would.
Nice. Uh, in this creative process, I had this question of like, what brought you joy in telling this story? Where was the joy of the story for you, and maybe surprise as you were creating it?
Wow, that's a good question. What brought me joy? I would say, well, creating comics brings me joy. As much work as it is, and it's a lot of work, especially for me since I do everything. I like telling stories. Um, so I'm always joyful about it, even when I don't feel like drawing and I don't feel like writing and I don't feel like inking and I don't feel like coloring. Once I start, then it gets hard to stop. And what surprised me, the story generally surprises me. I have a very weird way of working. I'm usually working by myself, so I always look at it as a film. I look at comics
Hmm.
as a film. So when I'm writing, I will write the script and it's pretty much complete. But then when I pass it off to the writer, the artist in me, I might do different things that I didn't see in the script when I was scripting. So I know I have a scene in this in Strong Number One where I thought this would be a great time to introduce a character just in the background, and that's it. I know
Yeah.
where the story is going from there. We're gonna go from there, and then I get surprised as a letterer because when I letter, I don't always follow the dialogue in the script because
Hmm.
sometimes the art does such a good job of I know I just patted myself on the back, but it's okay. The art does such a good job of explaining what I originally dialogued. I throw some other stuff in there. I might even put in, I'm like, you know what, let me do this because I want to do this and this will lead to this. But what I just did wasn't in the script.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I literally creating a subplot after I finished the script. So I kind of look at it like movies a little bit, and then sometimes I will scrap an entire scene. Um, for this book, there was a whole page that I've done. It's done, and I mean colored, lettered, everything. But as I got down the road of doing the work, I said it doesn't fit. So I
Hmm.
just trashed it, did a whole different scene, and that scene fits better with the story. So my creative process surprises me because I keep surprising myself.
Love it. Love it. Um, I also like how you were talking about kind of recognizing the art does the job that you wanted to do, like that sense of creative reflection. And since you are the guy doing it, like finding the parts of your skill set that kind of work the best as you're working through, that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I went to SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I've learned how to be like tough on myself as
Yeah.
because you have to do the critiques, you have to stand up and be critiqued, and then you have to critique as well. So I feel like they did a really good job of training me how to look at my work and go, that's not good enough, I can do better, and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So yeah.
Cool, cool. Well, I think the final question I had is a two-parter, and it is, what is next? What are you envisioning next in the creative world that you're embarking on and continuing, and where can we learn more?
All right, so I would say what's next for me. um well, I want to do Strong Number Two.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
want to do Heat Number Four. Hopefully, I can get that out early next year. In between Strong Number One and Heat Number Four, I have a horror story that I have been sitting on for a long time, and the script is done. It is done. I was looking for artists. I'm a big proponent of paying people to work, and I can't
Mhm.
pay people now. So I'm like, maybe I'll just do it myself, and then I'll do the horror book, and then I'll use the proceeds from doing, selling it to pay for somebody to do issue number 2. So
Well,
I,
well,
I I like horror. I'm a big horror guy. So um, I've always wanted to do a horror book. I have a couple of projects that I can't talk about just yet because they aren't solidified. One big thing I put out there, there's two big things that I put out there just to people I talk to into the world to kind of motivate me. Um, I want to do a Comic-Con in Hartford, Connecticut, where I'm from, or
mhm.
where I grew up. I want to do one that's mostly minority, Black, people of color based. I think there is a market for it here, but the market just doesn't know where to go.
Mm, mhm.
So, I figure if I can get some of the dope creators that I know, and I know a lot, to get their keisters here for a day, set up some tables, have a great con, and then maybe make it an annual thing. I want to do that. And then the other big thing I want to do is my mother, um, you know, rest in peace. I miss you. She had a art program when I was in high school called Jam, Junior Art Makers, and it's the basic premise was it taught teenagers how to be professional artists. And
Nice.
so I want to kind of do the same thing with the different high schools around here, um, and teach kids who are interested in, say you're interested in comics or anime. I would have work with them, work with their skills, and then we would end the whole thing with allowing them to maybe create a 5 to 10 page story of their own, and we'll bind them all and make a graphic novel, and they can go out and they can sell their graphic novel, and they can continue on with their careers, and while also teaching them, about how to be a graphic designer, illustration, children's book, and then grow from there. She mostly stuck with like just smaller scale, and I'm always trying to one up my mother because I'm following her footsteps. So I'm definitely looking to do those two big things. I'm in the genesis stages of both of them. I'm actually trying to finish Strong number one. Once I finish this, then I can move on to those projects. But right now, the big deal is Strong, which you can pre-order at
Mhm.
VisuallyStokedMedia.com uh, /strong. If you specifically want to go towards there, you can also get the zero issue if you want to get caught up. You don't need to read the zero issue to read number one, but it helps. Um, and you can check out Heat as well there. And yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, many thanks, JaVon. Glad to connect. Always glad to talk about your creating. You're always welcome here to chat about any part of it, and glad to share.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it. And please pre-order Strong. I'm not sure when this is going to come out, but you can either pre-order it or by the time you can order it. Hope the launch date is May 27th. So that's when I'm hoping to have copies to give out, because I have to go to a Comic-Con next week. So I'll
Mhm.
be at Fan Expo Philadelphia. So if you don't pre-order and you just want to get them, I should have copies by then, God willing.
Awesome, awesome.